Hello students, till now you have completed almost a major portion of the chapter Biological Classification. In Biological Classification, the kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, then kingdom Fungi, a brief introduction to kingdom Plantae and Animalia. Now what we have learned about these different kingdoms in this whole of the classification is like the 5 kingdoms are not at all including the non-cellular organisms. Okay, I am calling them the two ways. I am calling them as non-cellular plus I am calling them as organisms as well. The problem with calling them as organism is because they are showing some organic compounds in them which are resembling the nucleic acid and the proteins of living beings. So virus, prions, viroids, virusoids are the things which are considered to be non-cellular. As Whitaker has taken cellular organization as the criteria for classifying organisms in his 5 kingdoms, he didn't find any such characters or the cellularity in among virus, viroids, virusoids, prions. So these things are kept apart from the 5 kingdom classification. But we know that these non-cellular particles are of certain importance for human and the desired species, either because of their parasitic nature or you can say pathogenic nature as well as other kind of importance. So in that case we need to study them as well. Although the branch which is called as microbiology includes bacteria, fungi, protozoans as well as virus, viroids, virusoids and prions as well. So means that we need to consider virus as an aspect of the living, that how they are showing the character of living beings. They are not living because they are non-cellular, so they don't have protoplasm. If they don't have protoplasm, they are not showing metabolism. Ultimately, growth is absent. And outside the body, they are something like crystalline particles. So how viruses are important and how they are affecting the human being and the desired species, the current scenario is such a case. Because of the COVID-19, you are observing that it is because of a virus. So how we can ignore the existence of virus in our surroundings? So that's why we need to study them as a separate, not among the members of these 5 kingdoms, as a separate group. In previous classes, we have covered about the viruses. Now today, in today's class, we are going to study the other non-cellular particles. Okay, as per the NCERT, what are the descriptions given? We are going to study the next one in biological classification chapter. The topic is viroids. Next to virus is viroids. Previously, we have completed about virus. The 2 good examples given in NCERT is one is bacteriophage, other one is TMV. Causing disease, we know about virus. They cause disease in either plant, animals, including human beings. Consider us as human beings only and then separate from the animals, right? So if we are saying that what about viroids and how they are different from virus, then one thing that I have noted about virus is that virus are a nucleoprotein. I repeat, virus are nucleoprotein, whereas viroid type of things, this viroid is what? The viroid is different. Why it is different? Because virus, if I am saying, is nucleoprotein in nature, whereas viroid is only and only nucleic acid. So there is a difference. Both virus and the viroids are known to cause diseases in plants. But viroids cause disease only in the plants. Virus can cause diseases in animals also. Right? So another feature that I am going to write here, the first difference, their nucleoprotein nature. The second, diseases in animals also. Okay. Next, if anyone is asking that what type of nucleic acid is present in virus, I can say either DNA or RNA they can have. Okay, they can have either DNA or RNA. Whereas viroids only and only have RNA in them. That too of low molecular weight obviously. So that's the similarity. In both of the cases, whether it's virus or viroids, the nucleic acids are of low molecular weight. So let's begin with the viroids description. The viroids are known to be discovered by or reported by T.O. Diner. Okay, about these things we can say he discovered a new infectious agent that was smaller than virus. I said smaller than virus. Obviously you are going to remove the capsid, okay, and then what is left is nucleic acid only. So they are obviously much more smaller than virus. So smaller than virus and caused potato spindle tuber disease. So potato is a plant, right? It was found to be free RNA, free RNA. I can call it as a naked RNA also. Okay, that is without capsid, no protein coat around them. Okay, and they are causing disease in plants only, not in animals. Okay, they are causing disease in plants only, not in animals. Such examples are potato spindle tuber disease, that is given above. Another such example of disease caused by viroid is chrysanthemum stunt, and in different plant it causes bunchy top as well. Okay, so it lacked the protein coat. It is very clear, as I told you, the virus is having the nucleoprotein, means nucleic acid plus protein coat around it. Viroids are not having the protein coat around them. Okay, so that's why the protein coat that is found in virus, hence the name is viroid, hence the name is viroid. Virus like, viroid, virus like, but not the virus. Okay, the RNA of the viroid was of low molecular weight. Fine, these all things we have mentioned about the viroids, right? So remember that viroids are something that are causing disease in the plants only, not in the animals. They are always containing RNA as the nucleic acid, no other chances are there. Means it is never having DNA in it, right? There is one more word actually. This is virus, the previous one that we have studied. Today's topic, viroid. And there is one more word, and that is called as virusoid. That word is virusoid. So what are virusoid and how they are different? So virusoids are also the RNA particles, but they are present within some virus only, right? Means the impact of virusoids on other organisms is not known. Virusoids are satellite RNAs, I repeat, they are satellite RNAs in other virus, particularly which virus? Plant virus. Those which are causing diseases in plant, clear? So their effect outside is not known. Okay, how they are going to impact the normal life of any host cell? Nothing. They don't have a host actually. They are hosting some virus. Clear? Their host is some other virus. Okay, so this is how the viroids is different. Viroid, virus, virusoids, these three are different words, please remember. People get confused regarding the two terms. One is virusoids and the other is viroids. What is the confusion? Because both of them are RNAs, right? Both of them are RNAs. Now, viroids have their individual existence. They cause the diseases their own, and they are causing the disease in the plant only. Okay, whereas virusoids, which are similar being the RNA, but they are taking the shelter inside other virus, and their individual pathogenic or disease effect is not known on the host, right? So this is how the virusoids and viroids can be compared. Okay, that is the simplest and the easiest thing to remember about them. If the words are similar, we have the problem to retain the things. Okay, we have certain problems to retain the knowledge, retain the words, because the words are similar. So for that purpose only I told you that it is better to maintain a sort of dictionary, maintain or make your own dictionary actually, so that you can retain those words in your memory, right? So coming to the next, After viroids, there is one more particle, one more non-cellular thing that is known to be parasitic in nature or pathogenic in nature. But this time it is not any kind of nucleic acid. This is a protein. The name is prions. The name is prion. For prion, we used to say that these are infectious proteins that are formed due to misfoldings. Some proteins are synthesized, they got misfolded and causing abnormal conditions in the host. Who are their hosts? Their hosts are what? Animals. They are highly stable protein. Even after heating, they are not at all getting impacted. So that's why we are saying that we need to avoid the infection from the prions, because the diseases are first of all going to appear very late. You are not able to distinguish them to be caused by prions, or their impact is like slow virus. Clear? Their impact is like slow virus. The symptoms appear later or lately after their infection. So that's why their identification, because it's not possible in the initial time, the person is getting badly affected. And neurological disorders means it is very difficult to treat most of such neurological disorders. So we have such examples in the animals, that like mad cow is a famous disease world over, or also as bovine spongiform encephalitis or bovine spongiform encephalopathy. Next, other example in the human being, Creutz's disease or Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. You can equate these disease with the mad cow. This is in human, and those above one are obviously in cow. Okay, here Creutz's disease is also stated as laughing death. We also know this one as laughing death. Right. So these are the things that we need to mention very clearly. So this is the easiest way that we can define about the prions. So we have learned about different type of particles that can cause diseases, and they are non-cellular in nature. Clear? Similar, dissimilar things that we need to consider. Here it is. First letter, non-cellular particles. Clear? Non-cellular particles. What are they? Virus. Clear? The other name I said virozoids, viroids, and now just now I told you about prions. Okay. So chemical nature first of all. Clear? Chemical nature. These are nucleoprotein. Nucleic acid surrounded by protein coat. Or you can say protein capsid also. Virozoids are only nucleic acid. Which type of nucleic acid? Either here DNA or RNA. These are within other plant virus. These have only RNA. Obviously, low molecular weight is same for all. In the cases of viroids, we say these are again nucleic acid only. No protein capsid. Remember the similarity and dissimilarities, right? Here we say naked RNA or capsid is absent. Here also capsid is not there. Okay. So here we say what type of thing? Only RNA will be there. Okay. Right. About prions, we say proteinaceous. Right? And what about the covering? Do they have any covering? No, nothing. Here simply say nucleic acid is absent. There is nothing in the name of nucleic acid. Nothing, not at all. I can just say a very stable protein will be formed. Okay, right? The pathogenic effect. So these are pathogenic on animals, plants, fungus, algae, etc. Whichever type of living organism is there. Here, virusoids, pathogenicity is not reported. Viroids, only plants are their host. Plants are affected or infected, you can say. And here, only animals are affected. Okay. So why I am telling these things? See, those who are reading from the books, NCRTs of their elder brother, sister or their neighbors, for them I must suggest one thing, that you can either download the ePathshala application of NCRT, whether you are using the iPhone, tablets or Android phone, so that you can have the recent edition with the changes in the NCRT book. In earlier editions of NCRT, prions were not mentioned. Okay, they were not discussing prions in the detail, or this much detail wasn't given. But the question was asked in previous year about the mad cow and the other type of example. So what to do then? You must download the ePathshala app. There the recent edition of NCRT is always available. It's an e-platform. That's why if there is any changes anytime in the NCRT, you can get it very easily. Okay, and it is more handy as compared to the printouts or any other thing, right? So be clear about these things, that these are mentioned in the book. You are not supposed to leave them because they are not given in your NCRT. It's not about your and mine NCRT. It's about the things that we should know, because such questions can be asked which are not at all even given in the book as well. Okay, if you are feeling it difficult how to retain these many number of examples, I will tell you very clearly that for the purpose of the school exam, you need not to learn more number of examples. Why? Because in schools the examples are often asked from the NCRT limits only. Number two, if we are means for the board exam I was telling about, and if it is about the NEET exam, the competitive exam, the additional examples are very rare. Means they are not at all asking them very frequently. You will not observe them very frequently, because many students have told us that fungi seems to be very much difficult. So let me clear one thing, that whatever has been asked about fungus in the past years or the recent years, it is only and only up to the level of NCRT, where you need to understand the terminology particularly. You can answer them in better way. Although the questions that were asked are not the direct lines of NCRT, they may mix the statement of biological classification with some other chapter also, because you have the other chapters in which the microorganisms are being discussed, their importance are being told, so it's possible. Okay, so be clear about your studies, that what to study and how to study. Okay, that is the most important part of the strategy, right? Now, going to the next thing that we need to discuss, see, we have completed virus, virusoid, viroids, prions. Yeah, definitely, I'll let you know this thing. Came with this word, viron. What is viron? Viron will be what? One unit, or you can say complete unit, which is having nucleic acid, one unit of virus plus protein code, both. So one complete unit of virus is viron. Okay, so be clear about this. So there is not much difference in the words virus and viron. As Pasteur stated, virus means what? Something like fluid. As the word Bijerinkia stated, contagium vivum fluidum. Clear? The infectious toxic fluid. So virus is fluid. In that cases, each unit is named as viron. Okay, this much easy. So prions we have completed. So here is the thing that we have mentioned, that they haven't got any place among the 5 kingdoms because they are non-cellular. So no place in 5 kingdoms. There is no place provided for them in any of the kingdoms. You need to make a new kind of classification where you can discuss about non-cellular entities as well. Although some things which are having the cellular forms but still not placed in 5 kingdom classification are also there. And for them we have a bigger problem. If they are living, if they have living organisms in them, why they are not being kept? Because they are a kind of consortium, or you can say a kind of association. And that one example that we are going to study here is about lichens. Clear? Lichens are not provided with any position in 5 kingdoms as well. There are so many words which are stated for lichens. Let me tell you what are those words. See, lichens is actually a kind of association between, lichens is related as what, or stated as algae plus fungi. Okay, they are saying an association of algae and fungi. So there are different terms for this association that begins with a word which is called as symbiosis. But many people say this thing, that symbiosis means something in which both the partners are getting involved completely and sharing the things mutually. So symbiosis is replaced by the term mutualism. Obligate cooperation means without each other they cannot live. But people are saying you can mention them as a consortium, means simple word. Consortium is nothing other than association. Okay, here comes a new discussion. They are saying that we have observed that if algae and fungi, if the two things are together to form the lichen, if I am going to separate out algae from the fungi, the algae can survive but fungi can't. So it means that fungi was harassing, or you can say fungi was exploiting algae for its survival. Something like that, fungi is master and algae being a slave. Okay, so this master and slave relationship is written as heliocism. So this association is more better now stated as heliocism. What I said, heliocism means master and slave relationship. I repeat the word, master and slave relationship. So let me tell you who is the master here. They are saying fungus. And slave is what? Algae. Now wait, the interesting thing is, as I said, that fungus will die if the algae is getting separated from a lichen. In that cases, fungi will always try to utilize the algae till it can survive. Okay, means we are saying they are not at all over exploiting the algae. So that's why fungus is considered as controlled parasite. Fungus is controlled parasite over algae. Okay, so fungus is controlled parasite over algae. This is the actual terminology which is concerned with or is associated with the definition of heliocism. Remember this. Okay, because sometimes these things are asked. Actually, it is given more clearly regarding ecological interactions or interactions of organisms in the nature. Different topic, different place, but they can ask the question here as well. Because while making the paper, they are not at all thinking about that whether a student is of class 11th or a class 12th. Okay, or the one who has passed 11th and 12th both. They just prepare a question, put like this, and they are asking that what type of interaction is shown by the partner members here, the algae and fungus in the lichen. Okay, so remember the association more correctly is called as heliocism now. Nowadays we call it as heliocism. So it is controlled parasite over algae. That is the simple thing that we want to state here. Okay, so if we are considering them in such a way so that we can explain about the lichens much more, and what are those things and what we can explain more about the lichens here, here is the thing that I want to tell you, right? And what are these? See, so remember one thing very clearly, that so many words are there. Okay, you can have a screenshot of this thing so that you can save, or fortunately you are watching it on Yupp Master app, I hope so, and in that cases you can watch the recorded videos of the previous class as well as you can get the notifications of the upcoming live classes. Okay, it is necessary that you must go through the daily practice paper for the topic that we are discussing in each class. By this way you can improve your skills. See, first you need to be efficient, then you need to accurate yourself. Okay, if you are going to be accurate, then definitely you are going to do the paper in much better way. Okay, so whatever your dream be, whether you want to get good medical college or you want good percentage, you need to be conceptually right. Okay, conceptually correct. For that you need to understand the book, not to memorize, not to mug up the lines. Okay, it is not about reading the NCERT twice, thrice or 10 times, 12 times like this, not at all, because reading the book too many times will create confusion. Instead of that, what to read, how to read is more important. Okay, reading the NCERT twice or thrice is more than enough. 2-digit type of revision is not at all sensible, right? It is going to waste a lot of time. Instead you can go with the class notes. Okay, instead you can repeat the class note as many as time you think about. So right, we are talking about lichens and what lichens are actually. So you can observe these lichens in the places like you are moving into a dense forest or some old walls where no one is coming, means there is no disturbance from the outside, no pollution is there. At that place you can observe the lichens. Okay, I said na, dense forest or the walls or abundant forts, you can say abundant walls or buildings in which no one is going and is away from the pollution of city. Those places may be showing the growth of lichens. Okay, so lichen is something which appear green from the surface and they are perennial, means they grow for many years. Okay, I repeat, where they are present, I am going to tell about that lichens are known to be present in a place away from pollution. Okay, by this way people call them as bioindicators, means lichens are bioindicators of pollution. So till now we have studied at least 2 such examples, or I can say actually 3 examples. See, what are these 3 examples? If I am going to recall or recollect the things, the E. coli which is present in my gut can come in the fecal matter, and if it is present in water, it means it is indicating the contamination of water with sewage. So it is indicating pollution indicator, right? Number 2, diatoms are not found in polluted water. The same way lichens are not found in the places of polluted air. Okay, lichens are bioindicators of air pollution. Which pollution? More particularly air pollution, SO2. They are highly sensitive to air pollution. So industrialization, making big townships have removed lichens and made lichens to be available only in the places like dense forest or somewhere where human activities are very less. Okay, next coming to the other thing, their association of algae and fungi is stated as heliotropism. Just now I told you, who is the master? Fungi is the master. Who is the slave? Algae is the slave. Who will not survive if the two get separated from each other? Fungi can't survive, because fungi is parasitic and requires algae for its consumption of nutrients. Okay, so here is the thing that I am telling, the algal member is called as phycobiont and the fungal member is called as mycobiont. I repeat, the algal member is phycobiont and the fungal member is called as mycobiont. So when these are 2 different examples that we need to know, the phycobiont and microbiome, to which group do they belong to and what they are doing in the association which is named as lichens. There are so many examples of lichens. Just for the creating interest, I am telling the name. Say for example, if you have ever heard about litmus solution, the one which is used to identify acid or base, clear, which changes color in the change of pH, that litmus is obtained from a lichen that is named as Rochella. So you can see that lichens are economically important, okay. Lichens are economically important. Other type of examples are also there which are important. For example, one is called as curry leaves, means used as condiment, flavoring, so that the food taste can be enhanced. And such example is parmelia, is also belonging to lichen. I'll tell you one more example, and that example is, if you know about reindeers, yeah, those reindeers means the domesticated animal of Eskimo people in tundra or in the polar regions, clear. What they used to feed on? They feed on reindeer moss. What is reindeer moss? Cladonia is reindeer moss. Okay, so I got some idea about these lichens. They can be the food fodder for people. Okay, they seems to be photosynthetic because of involving of algae. Okay, so they are as a food fodder for the organism, including this parmelia as well. They may be the source of some commercially important compounds like litmus. Many of the lichens are used in perfumeries. Yeah, perfumeries means for getting the essence, or you can say the flavor. Okay, so lichens are important for us, not only ecologically as well as economically. I repeat, lichens are important for us in both the aspects, whether it's ecological. What's the ecological significance? One is bioindicator. They are indicating the air pollution. The second importance of lichen being ecologically important, I am saying being ecologically important, is lichen secretes certain acidic substances. I said lichens secrete certain acidic substances, and if they are adding some acidic substances, then they can break the rocks and convert the rock into the soil. So this is how lichens are important in soil formation, or they help the seeds and the spores of other plants, other type of organism to get germinated in the soil on the bare rock surface. So we call this thing as lithosphere. Okay, ecological succession type that occurs on bare rock surface is called as lithosphere. So lichen is going to be that particular substance which is the pioneer, means the initial community in lithosphere. So they are ecologically important. I will recollect these terms at the end also. Okay, let's talk about that how these phyco and the microbiomes in the lichens are important. Okay, how the two become important here. First I am talking about is phycobiont. Now phycobiont means algal partner, right? So it is going to form little part of the structure. Phycobiont means algar partner. Okay, this is essential to remember, right? This one is essential to remember. Whatever is additional, I am going to tell you that one as well. Okay, so phycobiont is little part in structure. Secondly, it is going to do photosynthesis. Photosynthesis can also be written as carbon assimilation. You can call it as carbon assimilation as well. Although certain algae are known to perform nitrogen fixation, clear? You can write carbon assimilation or carbon fixation. Here certain lichens are known to do nitrogen fixation as well, because they have in them blue-green algae. So if they are doing nitrogen fixation, we call them as azotodesmic lichens. I repeat, they are called as azotodesmic lichens. Okay, right? The other thing that I can tell you about the fungal partner here is that they are forming most of the structure. The majority structure is formed by fungus. You can just say that almost 90% structure is of fungus. Their fungal filament are forming the major part of lichen. Secondly, they are responsible for performing absorption of water and minerals. Water and mineral absorption from the soil, and significant in reproduction as well. Means how lichens are going to multiply, how they are going to grow in number or spreading over the surface is decided by fungal partner. Now this way that fungi become important in the terms of taxonomy of lichens as well. Although lichens are not placed in any of the 5 kingdoms. Okay, they are not at all getting any place in 5 kingdoms because they are combination of 2. Clear? They are combination of 2. But we can classify this lichen further on the basis of type of algal component. Okay, so that is the thing that we need to know about. So when we are mentioning these all characters, we need to be very clear about the feature that how they are taxonomically more important, right? Let me tell you this thing, that most of times fungi belongs to Ascomycetes. So if they are belonging to Ascomycetes, we call them as Ascolichens. Ascolichens are more common. Okay, so we are saying among different classes of fungi, Basidiomycetes and Ascomycetes are the most common used. If they are most common used in making the microbiome partner, out of them particularly Ascomycetes are more prominent. So Ascolichens are the name, other will be Basidiolichens. The same way, if anyone is asking that which type of algae is participating more commonly in making the lichen, okay, one thing I told you, the blue-green algae can participate. In the other words, I can say the more common one is, this is not about all, it is about certain which have ability of nitrogen fixation, but most of the lichen will have the member from green algae. Algae are mostly from chlorophyceae, means green algae. So by the name of algae, chlorophyceae is more common, and by the name of Ascomycetes, we are saying Ascomycetes member are more common. So we are saying Ascomycetes from the fungus and chlorophyceae from the algae are going to form the association that we call as lichens. Okay, that we call as lichens. That's it, simple. So this is how we have classified into 2 groups, mycobiont and phycobiont. Clear? How they become important, right? So this is how that we can mention about them. Now the thing is that how they are important and what they are doing actually. So as I told you that lichen members are economically as well as ecologically beneficial. Okay, so what are their economic and ecological importance? Separately, in short, we are going to discuss about them, because it will come later in a topic that is called as ecosystem. Clear? There is subtopic called as ecological succession. There you are going to know the name. Plus in the kingdom Plantae also, along with the bryophyte application, you are going to mention with lichens. So that's why we need to study it in advance, so that it is going to be the second time study of the same thing in the other chapters. Okay, so lichen, if we are going to talk about the lichen, the importance are here. Not all, few of the economic importance we are going to consider. Economic importance include first I said litmus is obtained from lichen. Number 2, I said curry leaves are obtained from lichens. I said they can be the source of food and fodder. They can be the source of perfumeries. Okay, these are for economic importance. If ecological importance is considered, if I am going to study the ecological importance, then what are the ecological importance in that cases? The first of the ecological importance, pioneer community in lithosphere. What does it mean? So here we used to say that lichens secrete acidic substances which disintegrate rock. Litho words come from the rock itself, okay. So they are saying that which disintegrate rock. If they are disintegrating rock, they are making soil from the rock, okay, and therefore favors germination of spores, seeds of other plants which are not able to break the rocks, right? That's how simple. So that's why they are the first in lithosphere, the ecological succession on the bare rock. I repeat, they are first in ecological succession on bare rock surface. Okay, this is the thing. Next, the second importance that we can mention about the lichen, as I told you that they are sensitive to air pollution. So we call them as bioindicators of air pollution. How? Because they are sensitive to SO2. So being sensitive to SO2, they indicate SO2 presence by their disappearance. They will disappear from the place where SO2 is present. It's the simple and easy to understand. The third of the ecological importance is, the third kind of ecological importance that we can state about is called as, or is mentioned to be what? The third type is mentioned as the next feature, and that next feature is forest fire. Some of the members get dried up with the age and they become important in causing forest fire. Means they catch up fire easily and they cause its spread in different forests. One such example is usnea, which is also mentioned as old man's beard, right? So they are the part of forest fire as well. So we are saying they are ecologically as well as economically important. So lichen is an association between the algae and the fungi, and we are hereby stating them very important in the terms of ecology as well as in the term of economy. Okay, remember about their importance. This is the additional part which is not given in one place in our book. It is actually extracted out from the different part and is considered to be the relevant one. The typical thing that they can ask about the lichen is kind of twist, okay, because the algal partner in the lichen can be a prokaryote, yeah. Which prokaryote? Means the blue-green algae. but fungi is always eukaryote. So they can ask like which member can be a prokaryote, which member is always eukaryotic. Clear? That type of association they used to mention. Okay, if they are comparing lichen with another feature of association of fungus with higher plant roots, that is mycorrhiza. Here is a comparison only. Mycorrhiza has been given in different chapter. Okay, we are going to just do a comparison, or we are going to study mycorrhiza in brief. Here is the lichen, and the other thing that we are going to study today is mycorrhiza. So when we are comparing the two things, lichen and mycorrhiza, the partners you need to know. So the partners we need to know in that cases. What are these partners? Okay, lichen, mycorrhiza when we are comparing. So partners are something which we are saying that making the associations. In lichen, one of the partner is, what? Fungi, and the other partner is what? Algae. In mycorrhiza, the partners are fungi and roots of higher plants like gymnosperms and angiosperms. By this way, I can state one thing very clearly, that in algae, it can be either prokaryotic or eukaryotic depending on the kind of algae. Fungi is always eukaryotic, no doubt, whereas higher plants are always what? Eukaryotic. Remember the association, okay? And remember the other feature as well. Now what these can do, or how they are becoming different in other aspects. Their importance actually. Significance in nature, or significance of this association actually. So starting from that side, mycorrhiza, because it is new for us. Though how the mycorrhiza is significant? The mycorrhiza is significant because provide water, mineral absorption, to the host plant, right? Obviously, great, no doubt about this. Decompose organic matter in the soil or around, you can write. And therefore increases soil mass. The soil matter is increased. Okay, this is how the things are. The fungus is providing different kind of support to the host cell here. Here fungus is providing the things, not like algae. Here algae was providing the things, okay. Then here we say tolerance to salinity, root-borne pathogens, clear? The tolerance to salinity, root-borne pathogens are the added feature which are provided by mycorrhiza for the host plant. So they are important obviously. And here what we are telling about the significance, what they are doing, they are indicators of air pollution. Sometimes they are doing nitrogen fixation. Means increasing the soil fertility, okay. And they are pioneer in lithosphere. In that time they are making the soil. They makes soil. right? So this is how they are compared. Means what is mycorrhiza and what is lichen. You can compare in this way. We are going to study about mycorrhiza in the coming chapters that include transport in plants and again microbes in human welfare. So those chapters are dealing with mycorrhiza more clearly. Here we say again the type of associated fungus belongs to Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes type of members. Here also same. In mycorrhiza it can be, we can say that it can be a member of Phycomycetes as well. Phycomycetes, Basidiomycetes depends. Okay. Here it is normally Ascomycetes. That's it. The prokaryotic association can be there. Here eukaryotic association. Right. So this is how we need to consider the two terms lichens and mycorrhiza here. If you find such questions in your any type of practice books, you are able to answer those questions now. I hope so. Okay. For example, if pinus roots are asked, that in the roots of pine tree, the root hairs are actually absent. So the function for performing absorption of water and minerals is performed by what? The fungal hypha or the fungal filaments, which are forming the mycorrhiza association. Even we can consider this thing that even the plant, means the pinus seeds, can't germinate in the absence of mycorrhiza. Right? So this is how it is important. So we have very classic things about these small structures which are usually ignored while studying only and only NCERT. Okay. For lichen case of concern, you may know about or you may have studied in the lower classes about the feature that is called as industrial melanism. Now what is industrial melanism in that case? So the industrial melanism is something which we can call as that industrial melanism is the melanin pigment got increased in certain insects. Why? Because those insects used to sit on lichen covered tree trunks. When the lichens begin to vanish from those tree logs in the industrial cities, the insect to survive, to get protected from the predators, they become different in colors so that they can hide along with the tree log. Okay, that is industrial melanism. There is also one place where lichens are discussed. So this is how we are about to conclude the chapter, that is biological classification, in which you have studied about the basis on which the kingdoms are created, whether it is 2 kingdom, 3, 4, 5 kingdom or 6 kingdom classification we have studied. We have studied the 5 kingdom classification comparatively in detail, and hopefully you have completed the animal kingdom in detail in the zoology portion. The plant kingdom is going to be our next topic in the coming days, and in that plant kingdom we are going to study about the plants which can be grouped into one, the complete aquatic Thallophyta, moving to the line Bryophyta, adapted for the land Pteridophyta, Gymnosperm, Angiosperm, the vascular plants and the seed plants. Okay, so it is going to be a kind of thing which we can say the history in the science. Okay, so the two things are going to combine in the coming days, and when we are going to start the plant kingdom, that how we, the mammals, are comparable to angiosperms, how the aves, means the birds, are comparable to gymnosperms. That type of things are going to be interesting for us. Clear? So hope you are following the classes regularly, you are viewing the classes. Not only you are supposed to solve the daily practice paper as well to improve your accuracy, right? The 15 questions are not at all going to take much of your time. The most importantly, you need to attempt those questions, then only you can do the things. Okay, that is what we need. This is the only feature that we need to remember, that strategically we need to be more strong. If we are strategically more strong, we can face any type of situation, whether the exam, the actual NEET exam that you are supposed to give in 2022, or any type of school exam as well. So the test papers are always a kind of driving force for us. So it is necessary that you must appear for the weekend exam as well. The DPP can be taken as a test also. Okay, hope you are all enjoying the classes on the Yupp Master. Soon we are going to introduce with the new things as well on the platform, and you need to be regular for it. If you are going to watch us regularly, you will get more and more benefit with us on our Yupp Master application. So stay with us for the further classes and get more and more efficient, accurate in your study. This is only the thing that we want to have. Okay. So thank you for watching. Yupp Master, all the best.